John Frederick Thomas Jane, known as Fred T. Jane, was a British writer of reference books on warships and aircraft. He was born in 1865 in Richmond, Surrey, the son of Vicar John Jane and Carolina Sophia Todd, attending Exeter School. In 1892 he married Alice Beattie, who died in 1908. In 1909 he married Edith Frances Muriel Torrey Annie Carey. In 1906 he stood for election in Portsmouth and came last, proceeding to exclaim "Damnation to all party politicians" into the crowd. In 1909 he founded the All the World's Aircraft magazine, published till this day. In 1909 he kidnapped the MP Victor Grayson during the 1909 Labour Party conference at Portsmouth as a stunt. He died from heart failure in 1916 after suffering from influenza. He wrote and illustrated several scientific romances in the mid to late 1890s. His first genre work was the 1895 Blake of the Rattlesnake, or The Man Who Saved England. We will review his final scientific romance, the 1899 The Violet Flame, a story of Armageddon and after. The narrator, named Lester, writes of his strange friend Daunton, their shared attention to the American millionaires Landry Selina Baker of Chicago, and their meeting with Professor Mirzarbeau. Mirzarbeau is a fat Anglo-French scientist who thinks the Earth is a sentient organism, and people are only so many molecules crawling on top of it. He then shows Lester and Miss Baker his weird helmet machine that can read the Earth's thoughts, then telegrams Lester to say he decided to abolish war, and then that does happen. Most countries getting rid of their army, amid a stock war between London and the exchange at the new Syrian capital of Esdraelon, which seems to be important initially but isn't. Daunton sees this as a sign of the coming Armageddon, and the Professor cheerfully accepts the role of His Highness the Beast of the Book of Revelations, puts on a strange costume, and promises a society devoted to the voluntary suicide of the human race to make a giant comet smash into the Earth. Right after Waterloo Station literally vanishes, buildings, people and all, just before he arrives to check on it. Daunton then affixes green discs on Lester and Landry, being the mark of the beast, which protects them when Mirzarbeau literally disintegrates the Albert Hall and everyone in it. Soldiers encircle the solitary Frenchman but cannot kill him, and he is declared dictator of Britain, under threat of annihilating the entire country, abolishing parliament and education, and having all those whom he dislikes executed and hung by mobs, who violently murder anyone who criticizes him out of fear. The entire nation is gripped with fear at being on the verge of being annihilated by the self-deifying insane Frenchman. So to avoid the nation going fully insane, Mirzarbeau hands out his marks of the beast as protection, while trying to make amends to Miss Baker. An attempt to detonate the diabolical Frenchman's house by pressing convicts fails, but Miss Baker manages to slip the disc off old Mirzarbeau himself, and he gets disintegrated. Lester's Navy chum Bentham shoots up Mirzarbeau's machine, but several days later, Daunton tells them with a peevish grin that they doomed the Earth to extermination in a week, as the machine was keeping a giant artificial comet Mirzarbeau made from destroying the Earth. Great earthquakes ravage England, and Lester and Landry hide in a hotel from a flood, before the violet flame burns up everyone else in the world, leaving them as Adam and Eve on an empty Earth. The story is grim, thrilling, and never enters the realm of parody, and I wholeheartedly recommend it.